July is here, repeats are here, because slumps do happen. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Pete. This is the Ponderings of Pete. I talk about fantasy, I talk about sci-fi, but mostly fantasy. Sometimes I talk about other stuff. Books, to be precise. If you are new here, thank you very much for popping by. I really appreciate it. There's a like button, there's a subscribe button with a bell notification if you want to touch that. There's also a comment box down below if you see anything interesting and want to say something. If you are returning, thank you so much. I really appreciate all y'all's support. Feel free to just, say hi in the comments, or, if you see a book in here that you liked and you thought was awesome, or you see a book you want to read, feel free to say that in the comments. I really just enjoy talking about books. That being said, let us talk about what I want to read in July. We'll see if it actually happens. First up, book I haven't finished yet. Books of Jacob. I have actually gotten a good fair bit of it finished so far in June, but I was trying to get a big chunk of it done in the beginning of June, and as you'll see in my wrap up, I didn't do much in June, honestly. The first half of June was just slump city. It's fine. So I am working on getting that done this month. I think it'll be a good one to read when I go on my trip, because I'm going on a trip. The other one, I'm going to combine this kind of into two. We have Mad Ship and Ship of Destiny this month. I'm probably not going to read them back to back. I didn't get to Mad Ship last month, but I do plan on getting to this as one of the first books I read in July. But I really enjoyed Ship of Magic, so I'm really looking forward to getting done with these two. These books will continue the saga of the live ships. I can't really say what is kind of going on with Vivacia and all the other characters within live ships, because that would be spoilers for the first book. If you know where the plot is going, you know where the plot is going, basically. But essentially, this is just another series set in the realm of the Elderlings, not directly connected to Fitz's story from the Farseer trilogy. This is set further south in the town of Bingtown, for the most part. That is a merchant-based trading town, and they have live ships, which are basically ships made out of a certain type of wood that can come to life, which is super cool. There's pirates, there's merchant companies, there's belligerent teens, and adults that are trying to do their best, as well as Kyle. That's all I need to say there. The next one, which I actually just got in the mail, which I'm super excited about, is Speaking Bones by Ken Liu. I have not finished The Veiled Throne yet. About to work on that soon, considering I'm filming this super far ahead of time. This will be the fourth book of the Dandelion Dynasty. I'm gonna finish a series next month, guys. This is phenomenal. End of a great journey, of which I'm technically only halfway through as of filming, but it's gonna be good. I have done live shows for the previous two books on Ian the Reader's channel, and we do plan on doing a live show for both Veiled Throne and Speaking Bones at the end of July, maybe beginning of August, so keep an eye out for that. This is the Dandelion Dynasty. It's a story about a country, it's about an island, about an archipelago, essentially, where it starts out under an empire, an oppressive empire, and then the history just goes from there. It's loosely derived from Chinese history to a certain extent, although there are a lot of fantastical elements, especially pop up, in the second book, that differentiate it a lot. But the first book is very, very much Chinese history based. I'm looking forward to seeing our characters evolve, seeing the sons and daughters of Kuniguru come into their own and become leaders in their own right, just seeing this dynasty evolve. Next up is one I did not get to last month, aka the month of June, the month that I am filming this in, and that is Warmasters Gate by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is book 9 of 10 books. Theoretically, if I'd been on schedule, I'd be finishing this series this month, but it's really fine. I am super excited to finish this series. It's a 10-book series, and I've been reading it since last year. I've been reading it for over a year now, essentially. I love the feeling of when you start a 10-book series, you have no idea where it's going to go. A long series like this, you're like, I don't know what's happening here. There may be some exceptions, like Wheel of Time, but whereas in this series, it's just it's a story about the world. It's not end of the world. It's not, cosmic. It's just people and things and war. And it's so good, especially after I hit Scarab Path. I was like, oh, this is great. I have a review for like the first 5 books. I'm planning on doing another review for the next 5 books once I finish. I really can't tell you what it's about. It's about a bunch of people. There is technological advancement in the context of the magic system, in the context of what they can do. There is, the last one was about them figuring out how air forces work within the scope of war. There's magic, there's everything's kind of insect-based, but not in a creepy way, I have to say, and it's good. So check this series out, check out my review, all that jazz. The next 2, again, I'm finishing up my June TBR and then going into what I really wanted to read for July, and that is The Shadow Throne and The Price of Valor. These are kind of shorter, I think, which is going to be nice. But these are books 2 and 3 of the Shadow Campaigns by Django Wexler. These are flintlock fantasy, and the first book was phenomenal. Now, some people say that the first book is the pinnacle of it, which is going to be interesting to see, but I'm really interested because I'm really excited because I've heard the level of magic used in these books goes up as time goes on, which interests me. More magic, so it can't go bad, right? I'm going to try to get these 2 done this month, but we will see. It's definitely going to be a bit of a crazy month with my trip coming up. Another continuation from last month, Raven Stratagem by Yoon-Ha Lee. This is the sequel to Nine Fox Gambit, which I have a review for, which was fantastic and I loved. And I'm sad I wasn't able to get to it, but I had to prioritize, and I'm like, this is one of, I guess, 2 sci-fi? Yeah, 2 sci-fi that are on my list. I'm just excited for this, because these are short books that are really pack a punch. So this will be a nice break whenever I need one from all the other long books that I have, which is, great. Very great. Love all the long books. And then we have some of the books that I am reading for SBFBO Smithbo 8. 14 Bookborn, I am reading Morrigan by Jonathan King. Now, this is something that reminds me of Percy Jackson and American Gods because, you got the Celtic gods are real, and our main character actually runs away with one of them, and she's a Celtic war goddess. So this will be an interesting one. It's basically a genre now. Do we have a name for this genre yet? I don't know. It's interesting. I guess it's considered urban fantasy, but to me it feels different from urban fantasy, but that's just me personally. This type of book is something I hold dear to my heart because, I grew up on Percy Jackson. I'm excited to get to this one. And continuing the Percy Jackson trend, we have Sekhmet by Grace J. Roberts. This is another one. It's urban fantasy, I believe, and feels very similar to Percy Jackson based on the blurb that I read online. A woman that was granted powers at a young age, a very, very young age, and she didn't want them. And now some of that is catching up to her, and she has a guardian that is trying to keep her safe and trying to keep her life normal. So these 2 books have piqued my interest for the month, and we will see how I like them. And you'll definitely be getting reviews for these 2 out soon once I read them. And then for my last kind of thing, my last sci-fi book, of course, is a Star Wars book, even though it technically should be considered fantasy. It's fine. Tales from the Bounty Hunters. I think I've been trying to read this for a while, but it's never slipped it in. I think I've read one of the stories so far, which was about IG-88, which was pretty fun. I'm looking forward to the Boba Fett one, because Boba Fett in the expanded universe versus Disney's blah is a lot better. Let's just say it's this whole concept of, Boba Fett's the #1 bounty hunter in the galaxy, so he has a reason for that. So let's show that. Show don't tell in short stories. So excitement, awesomeness. And finally, let's talk about the trip. So I am taking a trip to Ireland. I have a friend, or multiple friends technically, that are getting married, the 2 of them, in Ireland in this month. So I'm going to be taking a week and I'm going to be in Ireland. I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of book. I'm planning on trying to pre-film videos, all that jazz, get everything done, ready, so you guys don't have a break in content while I'm there. But we'll see how it goes. I'm thinking about doing a vlog. I don't know what I'd do for it. I guess it'd just be pictures and video, I guess. I don't know. Do you guys want that? I guess you probably do. People have asked me. As a result, I am also reading an Irish book because I felt like it. And that is Irish Folktales. This is edited by Henry Glassy, and it's from the Pantheon Fairy Tale and Folklore Library? ? I don't know what that is. I believe I picked this up at a thrift store. Probably did. Because when I see fairy tale mythological books in thrift stores, I tend to pick them up because I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I have a few Scottish ones, a Celtic one, an African one, and then I like an Irish history book that was like, oh, that's cool. As well as this. So I'll probably come home with a few. There's one or two books that I'd like to buy from Ireland. Ulysses is one of them, but that one I won't get to for a while because that's a bear. I need to finish Infinite Jest first. Yeah, I don't know that much about Irish folktales, surprisingly. My knowledge that I acquired when I was a child was mostly Greek and Roman with a little bit of Egyptian thrown in. You can tell there was a lot of things, influence from Mr. Rick Riordan there, but that's just how it is. Yeah, so that's what I'm reading this month. Have you read some of these? Let me know, all that jazz. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to get some rest because rest is super, super important. Goodbye.